So I'm trying to learn the Bible. And yeah, what other way to do it than reading it? So today is my second day. Oh, and by the way, I may have to go and grab my son. He's in the bedroom. He's watching a bit of TV at the moment. He's fed and dry. So he should be okay. But at times we still need our moms. See, the volume is as high as it possibly can be. Yes, so let's get right into it. Can I comment here? Oh, I don't know how to comment in my own chat. All right, anyway, let's get into it. So I'm now at Genesis 9. Genesis 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Huh. So people say we shouldn't eat pork. Even as the green herb have I given you all things, but flesh, oh, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Wait, so God said that we shouldn't eat flesh? Here, God is saying we shouldn't eat meat? And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. See? God believe in jungle justice. God believe in jungle justice. God is saying here, if you take a man's life, your life should be taken also by men. For in the image of God made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply. Thank you for my Levi, God. Bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. And God spake unto Noah, and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, for all that go out of the ark, to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. So he's saying he will never send another flood to kill people. Neither shall there be any more, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. So as long as we live, he will never send another flood to wipe out the earth. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and one of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Genesis 10. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tiras. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarma. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. Boy, these names. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sabta, and Rama, and Sabtika. And the sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. Nimrod. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, or Babel, I don't know, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar, or Shinar. I don't know these pronunciations. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Calah, and reason between Nineveh and Calah. The same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Leabim, and Naptuhim, and Pashrushim. I'm not laughing to laugh, I'm laughing at myself. And Kalushim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon for his firstborn, and Heth, and Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, or Hivite, and the Harkite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zermite, and the Hamathite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites were from Sidon, and thou comest to Gerar unto Gaza. What? Bible of Gaza too? As thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha, or Elisha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Elam, and Asher, and Arphaxad, and Lod, and Aram, or Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, or Jether, and Mash. All these names. And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Shileth, and Hazarmaveth, and Jira, and Hodaram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. And these were the sons of Joktan. Tongue twisters. And their dwelling was from Mesha. as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations, and by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language. Ah! We all spoke one language. So then how did it come about that there are so many languages on earth now? If there was only one language, how come so many other languages were formed? That's weird. That's interesting. I don't know if I believe this. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, and they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad. Okay. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel or Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 35 and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, and the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren. She had no child. I guess that was me. I was Sarah. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, and Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran or Haran and dwelt there. Okay, they moved. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran or Haran. Thank you for joining, guys. Can you double tap the screen, please? Can you double tap the screen, please, just to give it a like? Thank you. Genesis 12. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of the country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Wow, Abram. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. See, this is why we shouldn't curse God people, You see? Him tell Abraham he's going to bless people that bless him and curse people that curse him. That's why we should be careful who we're walking around and cursing. So Abraham departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. Can you double tap the screen, please? Thank you. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land, and there buildeth be an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched. I attended a church called Bethel Baptist, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hay on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south, and there was a famine in the land. And Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Okay, so Abraham was telling his wife, say, you look good. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Wow. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram came into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. So they wanted Abram's wife. The princess also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. So they took Abram's wife Sarah. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, what? Okay, and men servants, and maid servants, and she asses, and camels. Okay, ass, the animal. Alright, so they actually treated Abram well because of Sarah. Abram was hoping that would have happened instead of them killing him. Can you tap the screen for me, please? Thank you. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. Pharaoh took Abram's wife Sarah, and the Lord plagued him. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Oh yes, because Abram told him that she was his sister, not his wife. Because Abram didn't want Pharaoh to kill him. Why sayest thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me for wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. But Abraham not easy. I understand life was really hard, but he gave up his wife to Pharaoh for food. Even though I can't say that because without food you would die. So I guess that must have been an extremely hard decision for Abraham to make, to give up his wife Pharaoh, Sarah, to the Pharaoh, hmm? So that they could have food to eat. Oh my God. Can you double tap the screen for me, please? Thank you. Genesis 13. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. See, him selling wife for cattle, silver, and gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hay, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first, and there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. So what did Sarah get? The use of Sarah body. Sarah's husband sold her to Pharaoh for cattle, right? He sold her for cattle, silver and gold. Even Lot had lots of stuff. What did Sarah get for using her body? Can you double tap the screen for me, please? Thank you. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee. Can you double tap the screen for me, please? Thank you. And between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. If thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. So they're parting ways for peace sake. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram and Lot parted ways because the herdsmen couldn't agree. Abraham, not Abraham, Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. The Lord really loved Abraham, even though Abraham sold his wife. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent, and came and dwelt in the plain Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Double tap for me, please. Thank you. Genesis 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the valve of Siddim, which is the salt sea. All right. Siddim, the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. See, I don't like that number 13, you know? And in the 14th year came Shedlamar and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth, Karnim, and the Zuzims in Ham, and the Emins in Shaveh, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, upon Elparan, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to Enmispat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in the Haziz. Oh my God, people, tongue twister. That dwelt in the Haziz Zontamar. In the Haziz Zontamar. I already have a lisp tongue and I stutter, so this makes it so much worse for me. And there went out of the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is the same as Zor, and they joined battle with them in the valley of Siddim, with Shedlamar the king of Elam, and with Tidal king of nations, and Amraphel king of Shinar, and Arioch king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshol, and brother of Aner, and they were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Shedlamar, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's vale. And Melzedek, I'm shortening it, oh my God, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was a priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods unto thyself. Ah. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a sholeshet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Anor, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. Hi Joyce, good morning. Thank you for being here. Can you double tap the screen for me, please? Thank you. Genesis 15. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. God really loved Abram. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is the Eliezer, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine here. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine here, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad, and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. So God tell Abraham that he's going to bless him abundantly with children. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees, to give thee this land to inherit. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against the other. But the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. Genesis 16. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar or Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. So wait there. So from in those days, Sarah was suggesting, Sarah was suggesting, oh my, the word just left my mouth. Sarah was suggesting, I think it starts with S. It left my mind. A surrogate. Sarah was suggesting the maid to be a surrogate. Oh, that wouldn't have been a surrogate. It really would have been Abram and their maid's child, but then she would have taken the child and raised it as her own. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee, Joyce. She was like Eve, brought her own troubles on her. I'm telling you, why would she do that? It's not her child. It would have been her husband and her maid's child. My God. And Abram said unto Sarah, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand, to do her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee thee from the face of thy mistress Sarah. See, the baby's still gone anyway. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. God did that? The angel of the Lord did that? Told the maid to return to Sarah and Abram after Sarah made Abram seduce the maid and got her pregnant. What is happening here in the Bible? And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Yes, that's what happened. Why this don't sound good at all, Joyce? It sounds like a soap opera. This don't sound good. Mm-mm. Wherefore the well was called Beleroi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 old. He was 46. Okay, I'd leave at 41. When Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Genesis 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. I don't understand something. So why the angel of the Lord couldn't just this mix up? This is mix up. So why the angel of the Lord couldn't just make Abram be able to impregnate his wife Sarah? Why did the angel of the Lord make it happen with the maid at 46? Then when he's 99 years old now, he's gonna I don't get what is happening in the Bible here. I don't get it. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Him couldn't make him be, and Sarah was barren. I understand that, but he's the angel of the Lord. So the same way he could have made Abram a father of many nations, is the same way he could have touched healed Sarah, and make her not barren. No? Am I wrong? Double tap the screen for me, please, guys. Thank you. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Wow, he really loved Abraham. It's showing God's power. Okay, so in showing God's power, so God was saying that in showing God's power, what based on what you're saying, in showing God's power, Joyce, God was saying, I'm going to use my power to make this man impregnate his maid instead of impregnating his wife. And I'm going to use my power to make Sarah barren. You said God was showing his power. So I'm going based on what you're saying. I don't get that. Just heard my son. Let me go for him. 1 second, guys. I won't be long. He's missing me now. I'm coming. Here I am. It's okay. Come. mommy's reading the Bible. You know? You're excited? You think we're going somewhere? We're not going anywhere. Mommy's only reading the Bible. Thank you for your patience. Come, Levi. Ah. Say good morning. Say good morning, Levi. Okay, hold this on for mommy. Mommy's reading the Bible, okay? Mommy's trying to learn the Bible. You hold that one, and mommy will continue. Say good morning, Levi. All right, so God and Abraham now change his name from Abram to Abraham. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, and the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou, and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Ah. You know that I didn't know that the Bible spoke about circumcision. I wondered, because even when I went to the doctor, I was asking the doctor, like, which is better, which is healthier? No, not healthier, which is better? And the doctor and the GP said, well, being circumcised, it's more hygienic. Then I started thinking to myself, so then why did God make man with skin, every man with skin, since it being removed is better? So I'm like, then why did he just not make man without the skin? So then I was thinking, if God make every man with it, it means that they need it. It's probably a layer of protection, or I don't know. I was thinking that God made them with the skin because it must be important to have it. But see now here, the Bible is saying that he said all of them should be circumcised. Joyce, no. God's going to give Abraham and Sarah the promised child. He's going to be 100 and Sarah 99. Oh, is that Sarah? All right. Is that Sarah? Okay. All right. See? Don't know nothing about the Bible. Listen to the Bible with mommy. Ah, da 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 da. What's that mean? Where is it? Where am I? And God said unto Abram, no, and this, I read something about circumcision. Where did I? Yeah. He that is born in thy house, sorry, and he that is, I'm trying to, where am I so far away? God doesn't make mistakes. That's what I'm saying. Then why would God make every man with a skin? Since in this, God is saying that every man child shall be circumcised. So why are they born with it since it should be I don't understand that. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. So it's a token to God? Circumcision is a token to God. What is happening in the Bible? And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house, or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. My God. And God said unto Abram, as for Sarah thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give her a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. All right, see, Joyce, this is what I'm saying. Why, in the first place, God didn't just give Sarah and Abraham their children? Why did Sarah have to suffer her husband impregnating her maid? And the maid also suffered because of it, because she didn't want to. She didn't want it. And God sent her back to the house. I had my son and grandson. Hey, I'm not understanding. Because see, in her old age, he gave her as a child. He gave them many. So he could have given Sarah from them. You want to stand, Miley, Lee? You want to stand? Okay, come. Don't trouble anything up there. Here you go. You understand? Why didn't he just give them children in the first place instead of him impregnating his maid? I can't understand that. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abram said unto God, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. No wonder people, for real, because even back in the day, not my grandma, but a lot of other people had 12 children, 13 children. And I'm like, one woman bore 12 children? 13? You know, it's excruciating the painful it is to have just one. What's happening? Wow. Okay, Miley. You want to sit? Alright, come. Come, my little baby Levi. Come. Mommy, baby. Yes, where am I? Levi, Lehman. Where am I now, Levi? And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him. And God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abram was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Somebody that old can be circumcised? Abram was a non-believer, and God showed him what to do. Because he was faithful, he did what God told him to. Okay. But why did God, the angel of the Lord, I'm saying exactly what it says, why did the angel of the Lord choose Abram's helper for him to impregnate? That is quite emotionally damaging and mentally damaging to Sarah, his wife, who couldn't bear children. So why would that be? And Abram was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And in the selfsame day was Abram circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of the house born in the house, and bought with the money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Genesis 18. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abram hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the earth. And Abram ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah, sorry. Okay, my dear. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abram and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Even that, why would he give them the... I'm confused. Why would he give them children in their old age instead of when they were young and limber? Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abram, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. I would like to, but afraid. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abram went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abram that thing which I do? Seeing that Abram shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment. And the Lord may bring upon Abram that which he hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, Because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And then men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abram stood yet before the Lord. And Abram drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? To show his power. Besides, according to their culture, women who were barren was disliked. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to know. What did Sarah do? Why the angel of the Lord punished her? He did it to show his power. But what did Sarah do for the angel of the Lord to show his power over Sarah by punishing her? And why would he want her to be disliked by her nation? That part of it I don't understand why. Why was she punished? I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. If not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous and the wicked, and that the righteous shall be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Because God knows he can't find 50 righteous in Sodom. And Abram answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, Peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. He didn't punish Sarah. Remember, they lived longer and all their equipment were fine. I could have sworn Sarah laughed and said in their old age. When God said he was going to give them children, Sarah said in our old age. So they did consider them. So they did consider themselves old. She laughed and said in her old age. And she also said something that made it seem like she wasn't even sleeping with her husband at that age. Let me see if you want more. Or you just want to sleep. Come. Come, mommy, baby. And he said unto him, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure shall there be 24 there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, ten shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way. As soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Sodom and Gomorrah was that bad that God couldn't even find 10 good people there? My God. Genesis 19. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with the face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night, disobedient. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast. Okay. And did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, and the people from every. Okay, 1 second, just in case you want some more. Let's see. 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, you're losing people. Yeah, I'm sorry to Joyce. I don't have a choice. Are you saying that because I have Levi in my hands? I don't have a choice. He's my son, so he comes first. I was trying to see how far I can go without having to stop. So let me see where I need to stop then. So guess what? I will stop at Genesis 18 for today, and I will continue tomorrow. It's not usually fussy. Yes, I will stop today at Genesis 18, and I will continue tomorrow. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, Joyce, and everyone else. All right. Until next time, guys, the journey continues. Walk good, be safe, live good, and I hope today you will have peace. All right, bye, guys.